What is going on, everybody? It's PMOC at 86 Drive, and this week's episode we're going to look at some technology improvements to the MR2, and what we're talking about is adding some Bluetooth functionality to the old school stereo. Now, it's a 1991 Toyota MR2 Turbo. It's got the original factory stereo in it from 1991, and it's basically a CD player and cassette deck and a radio. It doesn't have any Bluetooth connectivity for modern phones and media players or anything like that. So what I'm looking at this week is the ability to try and add the function of being able to use like my phone as a music player. I want to be able to connect to my stereo using Bluetooth and then play the music that I want to hear from my phone directly into the OEM stereo system. So we're going to look at a couple of products that are out there that hopefully will help me do that. So this is the Bluetooth cassette adapter made by Ars Vita. I got this off of Amazon, and it cost about 21 bucks. And it looks fairly well made. I'm sure it's rare these days to see an actual cassette tape. So for those of you that are younger, you may not even recognize this thing or know what it does. But in the olden days, they had music on these things. This was before CDs and before media players with Bluetooth connections. You had to record music on this cassette tape, and then you'd pop it in here and play music. And so what this particular cassette adapter does is, it's got this Bluetooth antenna, and it's got this sort of playhead that's going to transmit the electrical signals from the music into the cassette player in the stereo. So basically, you're like any other sort of Bluetooth speaker or headset, you have to pair this adapter to your phone. And so I'm going to do that, and then we're going to test playing music through this cassette adapter. Okay, so I've successfully paired my phone to this Bluetooth adapter. You can see this little flashing blue light that comes on every once in a while. That tells you that the phone is successfully paired. And yeah, let's pop it in, see if this works. Alright, so I got the music to play, and I've actually got the music on pause right now. But one thing I've noticed is there seems to be a fair amount of static or crackling noise coming from the speakers when I'm using the Bluetooth adapter. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it on this recording. If I move the camera a little bit closer over here to this side. Yeah, so I'm putting it right next to the speaker on the driver's side now. You can kind of hear crackling noises. So yeah, it's a little disappointing that there's still this static or crackling noise coming from at least the left side speaker. I'm not sure why that's happening, but well, I'm going to contact the maker of this adapter and see if they have any ideas, or maybe it's a defective unit and they can send me another one. Alright, so Ars Vita was kind enough to send me a replacement unit for the cassette adapter, and so we are trying that now, and unfortunately it looks like I'm still getting quite a bit of noise. especially on the left channel. There's a lot of humming and just, unwanted signal, it seems, coming from the cassette deck. Now, I had just tested playing a normal cassette and audio cassette on the stereo earlier, and it sounds totally fine. So it's not an issue with the cassette player. I think, unfortunately, it's a problem with the adapter or how it's delivering the signal to the cassette player. So, unfortunately, I would not call it a success. I would say that it's a bit of a fail on this adapter. Give kudos to the company for giving great customer service and offering to send me a replacement adapter right away when I said that I was having problems. But it looks like I might be asking for a refund and trying something else. One of the other downsides of this adapter would be that you actually have to charge it before you use it, and it's not powered through the cigarette lighter or anything like that, so it's something that you have to keep charged and recharge outside of the car when you're not using it. According to the user manual, it'll last about 7 or 8 hours of use before you have to recharge it. So it's not terrible, but it's just one more thing that you'd have to think about and maintain when you're using an adapter like this. You can imagine how annoying it would be if you hop into your car ready to play some music as you drive, but then you realize the adapter's out of juice, and so it's dead and you can't use it. Alright, so let's try and give this a score. Bluetooth pairing, pretty good, pretty easy to pair this to your phone. Once you turn it on, you look for the Ars Vita on your Bluetooth list, and once you've got it paired, the next time you turn it on, it'll automatically pair, so it gets a 9 out of 10. Sound quality we talked about was pretty bad. I give it a 3 out of 10. Ease of use, I think it's a little bit cumbersome that you have to charge the adapter. You're going to have to charge it outside of the car. So that's something to consider. And so I give it a 4 out of 10. Battery life, not bad. 7 to 8 hours is long enough for a typical road trip, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Other features, well, there aren't really a lot of features. You use it to play music, and you can also take phone calls with it. And that's about it. I did have a pretty good customer service experience with the company, so I'll give them some points for that. They get a 9 out of 10. Add it all up, and you have 32 out of 50. That is not great. At the end of the day, I can't really recommend this choice, so let's keep looking. What we have here is a wireless FM transmitter. This uses Bluetooth as well. It connects to your phone and then broadcasts the signal over an FM channel to your car stereo. And this cost about 18 bucks on Amazon. Now this gadget plugs directly into your cigarette lighter in your car, and that's how it gets power. And it's got just a few controls on it. Underneath it, you can see it's got these USB power ports so that you can charge your phone or tablet or whatever device you have in the car. And it's got quick charge features, so that's nice. On the front, you have a USB port that you can plug in a flash drive. If you want to play music off of a flash drive, you can do that. There's a phone button that you can press if you want to answer a call. It's also a knob that you can turn left and right to skip forward and back on tracks or tune the radio channel that you're going to broadcast to. You set that by pressing that channel button on the left. And then the B button is for boost mode. I wish it was a boost controller so I could turn up the power, but no, it's a bass boost for the audio. Alright, I found the instructions. Pretty small, pretty brief. I'll just read through those and figure it out. Alright, so I've plugged in the FM Bluetooth transmitter, and when you first turn it on, it looks like it displays the battery voltage, which is kind of neat. Helps me monitor the health of my car's battery. Let's try and pair it to my phone now. I've paired the FM transmitter to my phone. You can see right there, it's the C68 Bluetooth device, so that's connected. Over here I've got the FM transmitter set to 107.9. I think we're ready to play some music. Nice, it looks like it works pretty well. I tuned the radio to 107.9 on the FM dial, and the transmitter is set to the same thing, 107.9. Play the music again. You have to turn up the volume a little bit more, but it's still very clear. Yeah, so I think that's a success. I'm actually pretty impressed so far. I'm going to have to play around with it some more, but so far so good. Alright, so let's run through the scoring for the Bluetooth FM transmitter. The Bluetooth pairing process was fairly simple, pretty much on par with the pairing process on the cassette adapter, but maybe -1 point for the fact that it was named something just a little obscure, C68. You know, you got to read the documentation that came with the transmitter in order to know that that was the device that you needed to look for, whereas the Ars Vita cassette adapter just very plainly was called the Ars Vita device, so that was easy. Once you're paired for the first time, pairing on subsequent uses is super easy on both of these devices, so that's not a concern. So I give it an 8 out of 10 compared to the 9 that I gave the cassette adapter. Moving on to sound quality, as I pointed out, the sound quality is way better using the FM transmitter. No static coming from the cassette deck or the sound of the cassette playing. So definitely a higher score there. It gets an 8 out of 10. Some of my friends who have used FM transmitters like this in the past have told me to watch out that, you know, they didn't have as much success because they got interference from the FM channels when they were driving around, especially in a populated area like the Bay Area. But I didn't really run into any of those kinds of problems. You know, I drove around for about a half a day using the Bluetooth transmitter to the FM radio, and it sounded great the whole time. I didn't run into any issues with static or interference. So ease of use, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Battery life, well, this one doesn't use a battery. It just plugs directly into the cigarette lighter. So power is not an issue. You're not going to worry about running out of juice. It's just continuously powered from the car. So I give that a top score, 10 out of 10. Other features, well, it has a built-in quick charger, so you can use this to power and charge your mobile phone, mobile device, tablets, whatever. That's a huge benefit. You got to keep in mind this is an older car from the 90s, so of course it didn't have USB chargers built in. You'd have to add some kind of charging plug on your own. So that and the ability to play music off of a flash drive, some good features, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And so you add all that up and you've got 41 out of 50. That's pretty good. I call that a win. So, I am very pleased that the FM transmitter worked so well with my radio and allows me to bring in essentially 21st century technology to be able to play music that I want to listen to, whether it's from my own playlist or streaming music from Spotify or Pandora or streaming from my phone. I can do that now while retaining the original technology, the original stereo. It's just kind of a retro, period correct, kind of nostalgic thing, right? To be able to drive in my 1990s car and driving the car the way that it existed back in that time frame. And I know you could obviously have upgraded the stereo to a more modern unit, but that wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to try and keep things as original as possible in the car. So I am grateful that we have the alternatives, that technology exists for us to do that. So super neat. And with that, that's all I have for this week. So thank you as always for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care.